you have been in your position for at least 3 years, maybe 4, maybe 5, and you're wondering when is it your time, when are you gonna get promoted to the next step, then this video is for you. Maybe you have already talked to your manager, maybe you already have put in extra work, you're doing everything in your mind that's needed and recommended to get to the next step, and yet some other idiot over there is getting promoted and you are still feeling stuck. In this video, I'm going to tell you from an HR perspective, what are actually the things that influence in larger organizations the promotion process and why you may or may not get promoted. This is super frustrating. You may or may not know what the reasons are. You just know you're ready, you deserve it, you want more money, and you want movement, and there is just no progress. Career progression is extremely important, especially in the early years of your career, because it sets you up for what your long-term runway can be and possibly influence how far you actually make it in your career. So let's talk about all the different things that influence decisions in organizations of who gets promoted, when they are getting promoted, and to what they're getting promoted. Welcome to Red Thread. My name is Sonia. I've been in talent management for the last 15 years and I've built those systems and processes that funnel people through the different channels that an organization offers to capture talent and build skills that they will need today as well as tomorrow. So who are the stakeholders? You might think it's just your manager, but you're wrong. Your manager actually is keenly interested in keeping you in your place because once you're leaving, he has an issue. He needs to backfill you. Often companies don't allow for backfills depending on where they are in their growth cycle. He also has to potentially retrain the new person. That means more time on him. In the meantime, your team members have to pick up the slack, which doesn't make them happy, and it upsets the entire team structure. So see your manager as just a part of the barriers you have to overcome in actually getting promoted, whether this is even up or outside of your department. Next, you have HR. HR is not evil. HR's function in this process is to maintain equity. If somebody comes, if the manager goes to HR and says, I have this really talented person, he's working really hard and he deserves to get promoted, HR will usually ask that manager, what does the new job look like? Is the new job, the promotion, really justifying a promotion? Which means your job has to change. If you've just been sitting on your chair for the last 3 years and you have not done anything bigger, and the next step up does not expand the scope of that job, responsibilities, decision-making, project size, client size, all these measures that indicate a higher level of expertise and knowledge, then that promotion most likely will get declined just because HR has to maintain. You cannot promote people just because they've been long enough in the same chair or want more money or they have reached the height of their compensation scale. Third, who you need to think about is your hiring manager. So that is the next boss. Do you know where you want to go? Do you know what is opening and what is coming, or you just expect to stay in your current job and then magically get promoted? So that comes to you then. You need to make a list of what exactly are your options. What are you willing to trade? Are you willing to move? Are you willing to expand your knowledge? Are you willing to go into adjacent departments or teams that will hugely expand your opportunities for lateral moves or a next position up? I mentioned your hiring manager and that this is really important to start forming relationships with potential other team leaders, because if you ask them to hire you, to give you the position of an open position, they are taking a gamble on you. You don't know yet and you have not proven yet that you can perform at that next level up that you want. If that hiring manager goes outside and finds somebody on the open market, they actually get the minimum required skill sets for that position plus more, because usually you hire somebody with more years of experience and a proven track record that they can do the job. So there is additional work on your part you can do and you need to do in order to convince that internal hiring manager that you're the right fit for that next step up. So let's talk about processes and systems. You need to understand how organizations look at that process. And there are certain sequences throughout the year that happen like clockwork and that you need to align with in order to calculate the timing of your next promotion. So you need to go with the flow and make sure you have your ducks in a row, that you hit each marker along the way. Number one process that you need to know inside and out and appreciate and embrace, as painful as it might be, are performance reviews. What you get as a score on this performance review flows into the application for your promotion. 90% of employees that end up with a promotion that year have been rated exceeds for at least that year, most likely also the previous year. They're seen as having a track record of high output and high performance. If you have just for the last 3 years consistently meets expectations, that means you're perfect for your current role. You are extremely reliable, you are great at what you do, but you do not have the potential to be put into a job that requires more responsibility and a higher skill set. So the first thing you need to do is make sure on the performance review you end up with an exceeds rating. Now there are lots of things you can do by how you decide on what your goals are, and there's a lot of things you can do even though you might end up with company goals that you alone cannot influence. Even as an individual contributor, there's a lot you can do along the way. This is your first step to embracing the systems and processes. You don't get around that. Another process that most employees don't know exists is called a 9-box process. In large organizations, companies and leadership looks at employee potential as well as performance. So you get plotted on a 9-grid box of what they see as your performance and your potential. If you have an exceeds on performance as well as a 3 on your potential, you fall in a high performer pool. From that pool are then candidates selected for succession for certain jobs, where they're either key jobs, rotational positions, other opportunities to build the skill set of an employee. So it's really important that you know or have an idea where your manager is placing you. Now, sometimes an organization will only use the 9-box for leadership positions. So they will rate all their managers, directors, VPs and up to see where their talent is sitting. But some go lower. You can always ask your manager if there is a 9-box rating available at the organization. And if there is and individual contributors are not rated, you can ask, where would you place me? Because it comes down to what is your manager's opinion of you, of what he sees your runway is. If he sees you as a solid B player, you're not moving. So you need to come up with a different strategy out from that current team into something else that gives you a launching pad into the next career step. The last part of systems and processes you need to know is, what is that promotion cycle? So most companies have promotions taking place in batches twice a year. The first batch is with merit increase in the spring after performance reviews are done. So after performance reviews are in, managers go into systems and figure out what is the merit increase for their employee population. And after that, all promotions are being voted on and considered. Now, these considerations are based on what are available budgets, what is the percentage? Like if there are lots of promotion requests from a specific department, that probably won't fly. So it depends on what is that budget for that department. Where is growth? Where are new positions created? And where are positions being cut? So it has a lot to do with what is available. And that's why you need to have a plan on what are your options and willingness to go into different departments, adjacent departments, to grow and have more options into pathing your way to an ideal grade or where you want to go, not just getting pushed. Now let's talk about you. What you can do personally to actually enhance your chances of getting a promotion. The number one thing that is important and often overlooked is, what is your current state of visibility to key people in the organization? So there are two aspects to it. One, higher visibility is given to people who either make the product or sell the product. So if your support function around it, you still can get closer to that core team that influences the big decisions and have high visibility in the organization. But you need to be strategically pursuing that. So even if you're in finance, you can get closer to those key decision makers for visibility. This is not a campaign for you to suck up to everybody. This is simply about letting people know what your value is, what you bring to the organization, and you need to shine a little light on you. That has nothing to do with bragging. This is what it takes. If people don't know who you are and what you do, it might be amazing, but if it's behind closed doors and nobody knows about it, you will not be talked about in the right rooms with the right people that make decisions on who to support in their career and where to actively support that employee for growth, because it benefits the company. So if the company, key people, do not see you as a vital contributor to the success of the organization, your chances for promotions are not great. So look for opportunities for visibility. That means you asking if you can take over 5 minutes of a key presentation and support your boss. That means you volunteering for projects nobody else wants to do. Digital transformation, here you go. Do something of significance where you have exposure to multiple teams and multiple functions. So this is your biggest and best strategy to get visibility that then leads to a promotion, because people see the work ethic you have, the quality of work you do, and the performance you will be able to contribute in the future if given a chance. And that's what you're asking for with the promotion, a chance. So now you know that you have to influence 3 areas. Yourself, and that you're ready and really know what you're going after, and leave yourself a lot of options, as well as the systems and processes that you need to operate within in order to go smoothly into the next promotion. If you're able to prep now for the end of the year and you set yourself up for an exceeds evaluation on your performance review by the end of the year, you can start also doing some other tasks that will give you the visibility. So when promotions are being considered, you are on that list within the next 6 months. Good luck to you, and let me know in the comments what questions you have. See you in the next video.